Episode 12. Ibada, the intellectual test. Last episode, we discovered that Ibada is far bigger than rituals. Ibada is not simply prayer, fasting, or religious ceremonies. It is a way of living, a life built around creating a secure relationship with your Creator and contributing to reform, justice, and goodness within humanity. And the rituals? They are like gas stations along the highway of life. You stop to reconnect, to recharge spiritually, to realign yourself with your purpose before continuing the journey. But if Ibada is truly a conscious way of life, based on truth and reform, then another question emerges. Why do human beings resist truth when it confronts them? Why did entire nations reject prophets? The Qur'an gives a profound answer. The problem is often not intelligence. It is the barriers inside the human being. Listen to the dialogue between Prophet Hūd and his people. The call begins with awareness. A'budu Allah. Afala tattaqun. Worship Allah. Will you not become aware? Surah Al-Araf 7:65. Notice, the prophet does not begin with rituals. He begins with consciousness, because Ibada begins when the human being starts asking, why do I believe what I believe? Why do I follow what I follow? Is it truth or simply habit? But look at the response. Ajitana lina'budallaha wahdahu, wa nadhara ma kana ya'budu aba'una. Have you come to us so that we worship Allah alone and abandon what our fathers used to worship? Surah Al-Araf 7:70. This is the real struggle. Not lack of evidence, but attachment to inherited beliefs and systems. They were not asking, is this true? They were asking, are you asking us to leave what we inherited? And this is where the Quran exposes the barriers that prevent people from seeing truth clearly. 1. Blind tradition. The Quran says, Inna wajadna aba'ana ala ummatin. Wa inna ala atharihim muqtadun. We found our forefathers upon a way, and we are following in their footsteps. Surah Az-Zukhruf 43:23. People often feel safe inside inherited beliefs, cultures, and traditions. But the Quran challenges blind imitation directly. Awalaw kana aba'uhum la yaqilun shay'an wa la yahtadun. Even if their forefathers understood nothing and were not guided? Surah Al-Baqarah 2:170. The Quran is teaching something revolutionary. Truth is not true because it is inherited. Truth must survive reflection and examination. Real Ibada requires intellectual honesty. 2. Fear of change. The people said, Ajitana litalfitana amma wajadna alayhi aba'ana. Have you come to turn us away from what we found our fathers upon? Surah Yunus 10:78. People resist truth because change threatens comfort and identity. But the Quran teaches that transformation begins within. Inna Allaha la yughayyiru ma biqawmin hatta yughayyiru ma bi anfusihim. Allah does not change the condition of a people until they change what is within themselves. Surah Ar-Ra'd 13:11. Civilizations decline when comfort becomes sacred, when people stop questioning themselves. Real Ibada requires the courage to leave falsehood, even when it feels familiar. 3. Avoidance. Sometimes people avoid truth because truth demands responsibility. The people of Hūd said, Fatina bima ta'iduna in kunta minas sadiqin. Bring us what you threaten us with, if you are truthful. Surah Al-Araf 7:70. Instead of reflecting on the message, they challenged the messenger. The Quran responds by constantly calling people to think, Afala yatadabbarun al-Qur'an. Will they not deeply reflect upon the Quran? Surah Muhammad 47:24. And Inna fi dhalika la'ayatin liqawmin yatafakkarun. In that are signs for people who think. Surah Ar-Rum 30:21. The Quran does not ask for blind belief. It calls for reflection, observation, and intellectual sincerity. So the real battle is not simply belief versus disbelief. It is truth versus comfort, reflection versus imitation, courage versus fear. This is why Ibada is not blind ritual. It is an intellectual awakening. It is the moment the human being stops worshiping tradition, society, ego, comfort, and begins sincerely searching for truth.